Hello everyone and welcome to a brutal attacking game from the Hungarian Rapid Championship 2023. It's a game from the penultimate round, Peter Svidler versus Amin Tabatabaei. Maybe it's not the penultimate round, maybe it's a round before that. Let me just check, I don't want to trick you guys. Yeah, this is, 13 rounds was played. Yeah, this is round 12, so definitely the penultimate round. And Svidler only lost one game so far, and he's in contention for first place. He lost one game to Magnus Carlsen's nemesis, Sanan Sugirov. And Amin Tabatabaei is without a single loss. So, a lot is on the line here, and it's a brilliant attacking game. A lot of sacrifices happening. You guys will enjoy it. Let's check it out, and then we're going to discuss the standings and what happened. 297 players participated in this tournament, and, well, we're going to say more after we check out the game. So Svidler opens with pawn to c4. A few videos ago I mentioned that it's a wonderful way for you to avoid all of the tricky lines that come from let's say playing e4 or d4. Here you just avoid all of this and you play some good chess. We have pawn to e6 going for the Agincourt defense, g3 and now pawn to d5. We have bishop to g2 and knight to f6. We have knight to f3, bishop to e7 and now both players castle. So castles and pawn to b3. Svidler slow playing this. He wants to fianchetto both of his bishops. We have pawn to d4, grabbing more space in the center as Svidler did allow it. And usually here you will see a pawn to e3 or bishop to b2, but here we have knight to e5. And knight to e5 is perhaps not the absolute best way to go about this position with white, but it's an excellent way of trying to take advantage of a rapid time format. Maybe your opponent doesn't know this line, and he will simply trust you. The reason why it's not maybe that impressive is that bishop to d6 really forces the knight to move. There's really not much you can do other than to move the knight, because if you play f4, you can just trade, captures, and go knight g4, and you're going to win that e5 pawn. Yes, you won the bishop pair, but it's not like it's going to do all that much. But obviously, Svidler had something in mind. But best would be to simply challenge that right away. It's a hard decision to make because you already made a move with the bishop and then you don't want to waste another tempo playing bishop to d6. So pawn to c5 was played, and now comes pawn to e3. We have queen to c7, now pawn to f4, knight b to d7, and now e captures on d4. We have c captures and now knight to d3, not allowing the trade to happen on e5. Knight to c5 challenging the knight here, and now queen to e2. We have captures, and pawn to e5 now challenging the e5 pawn. F captures on e5 and now knight to g4 going after the e5 pawn. Bishop to a3 now offering to trade off the dark square bishops, and now knight captures on e5, simply attacking the queen on d3. We have queen captures on d4 and now rook to d8. So Amin definitely getting some development moves in. Svidler's queen is under attack. Queen to f4, now the knight cannot move as the queen on c7 would hang, so bishop to f6. We have knight to c3, and now queen to a5, putting pressure on the bishop here, and here Svidler finds a most spectacular move, one that not easily spotted. He plays knight to e4. And what's the idea here? It doesn't seem like you have compensation for just giving up the bishop on a3, but you have to capture it. If you don't capture the bishop, black is just dead lost. To give you an example, if you play something like, let's say, queen b6 check, and you want to guard the bishop on f6, bishop to c5 happens. And now after the queen moves, you can just trade. Captures, and now look at this. Pawn to d4. Okay, the knight attacks the bishop. You'll simply move the bishop. You'll attack the rook. Okay, rook captures on d4. Now comes bishop captures on f6. Again, attacks the rook. Rook to d6, attacks the bishop. Now pawn to c5. And there's really no good way to play this with black. You're going to suffer for the rest of the game. There's no good way to develop here. And especially if you capture, then just bishop to e7 and you lose material, as there's no way to actually defend that knight due to the bishop pair. So after knight to e4, the best move here, of course, for Amin is to capture the bishop. He played bishop, queen captures on a3, grabbing the bishop. Now look at Svidler's idea. Knight captures on f6 with check, g captures, and pawn to d4. Okay, knight to g6, queen captures on f6, he grabs another pawn, threatens the f7 pawn. but now just queen to e7. And where is the compensation for the sacrificed piece? Well, queen to f2, we have pawn to f5, and now pawn to c5. You're probably expecting pawn to d5, but Svidler actually goes pawn to c5 first. We have bishop to e6, now countering the d5 square, not allowing pawn to d5, and now rook a to e1. Now this is again a threat, as the queen is on the same file as the rook. Queen to f7, and now bishop captures on b7, as the bishop on e6 will fall as well. So okay, queen captures on b7, rook captures on e6, and now rook to d5, just stopping those pawns, not allowing them to move any further. Rook to f6 by Peter. We have pawn to f4, trying to open up the white king's position. Queen to e2. And now how do you defend this? Rook a to d8 was played. Queen to e6 with check, king to g7, and now rook 1 captures on f4. We have knight captures on f4, so Peter also sacrifices the exchange here. Rook captures, and now pawn to h5. So now Svidler is down a full rook. And how can he play this? Well, good thing for him is that objectively it's a draw, but the bad thing for Amin is that if he doesn't play perfect moves, then Svidler is just going to win this. So queen to f6 check was played, and now as things usually work in chess, king to g8 is a draw, king to h7 is a loss for Amin Tabatabaei, and he played king to h7, but now you guys have to figure out why it's a draw. It's not easy to spot. Remember, you are down a full rook, so feel free to pause the video and win the game for Peter while I give you a couple of seconds. So for those of you who were able to do it, congratulations on spotting this wonderful idea. And for those of you who just want to enjoy the show, it is rook to e4. This is the move you have to find, and now the threat is rook to e7 with check. And there's no good way to defend this. Whatever you play, rook to e7 will just, kick the queen out of the game, and then you're just going to checkmate the black king. So the only way to defend this is to actually prevent rook to e7, but that also means you are allowing this beautiful fork, because to defend, you have to put either rook on d7, and then c6 will just fork the queen and either rook. So rook 5 to d7 was played, and now, of course, pawn to c6. It's not required. You could actually play pawn to rook to e5 and just win the game on the spot, but it's rapid. Svidler played pawn to c6, and now he just has a completely winning game. Rook to f7 was played. Queen captures on d8. Other moves aren't any better. We have queen captures on c6, and now just queen to e8. He is up 3 pawns, and of course completely winning. Now it's just time to figure out how to take advantage of the position, the most properly. We have queen to e6, offering a queen trade, and now rook to f6. Preventing this, we have queen to d5 and rook to f7. We have king g2, pawn to a6, and now pawn to b4, preparing to create another pass pawn, as you already have one. Rook to f6, and now pawn to a4. We have king h6, and now queen to e5, making room for the passed d pawn to start marching forward as well. King to h7, and now pawn to b5. We have a captures on b5, a captures, and rook to f5, but doesn't really matter all that much. You are down 3 pawns. Queen to c7 with check, king to h6, and now queen to d8. We have king back to h7. Now comes pawn to b6. The pawn is nicely defended, so you don't have to worry. Rook to f2 with check, trading rooks, captures, and now queen to f6, just cutting off the black king, and also defending the d4 pawn, defending the b6 pawn, and also defending the white king along the f file. Few more checks will be given before we see an actual resignation, because that's just how chess works. King to e3, queen to c1 check, king to e4, and now queen to b1 with check, king to e5, and now queen to b5 with check. We have king to f4, queen to b2, now going after the pawn here, but just, sorry about this pawn here, but just king to g5, now preparing to checkmate the black king. Pawn to h4, and now queen f7 check. We have king to h8 and queen g6, king g6, now threatening checkmate here. Queen to b1 check, and now queen to f5. And it was in this position on move 58 that Amin Tabatabaei resigned the game, as there is nothing more to be done here. You can't do anything. You're getting checkmated on the next move. Queen to f8 will be checkmate, or you can do something like queen h5 check, followed by queen h7 check, followed by queen to f7 checkmate. And if you capture the pawn here, yes, this does come with check, but then you play queen to f6, counter check, and blocking the queen's check to the white king. Black will have to trade, and then of course you just advance this pawn to victory, of course completely winning position. So yeah, absolutely brilliant stuff by Svidler. Like I said, out of the 13 games that he played in this tournament in the Hungarian Rapid Championship, he only lost to Sanan Siugirov. but none of the other games. So very nicely done by him, and he finishes 1 full point ahead of the field. He wins with 11 out of 13, and some 3 players were on 10 out of 13. Parham Maksudlu, Sanan Sigurov, and Alexander Predke were trailing him, and then a bunch of other people with 9.5 points, including Pragnananda, who really had a beautiful start. I think he started with like 6 wins, and then he lost his first game to Tabatabaei, or maybe that was a different tournament. I'm gonna check. I don't want to trick you guys. Let me just quickly check. Yeah, Prague got 7th place behind Tabatabaei. Yeah, no, he drew his game to Svidler and drew also his game to Amin Tabatabaei. So he only lost. Yeah, he only lost to Maksulu and Sanan Sigurov. Obviously, both of them had really an exceptional tournament, so of course the results just followed. But yeah, absolutely incredible. Peter Svidler comes out to play a tournament. Out of 297 players, he clinches first place, a full point ahead of everyone else. Absolutely spectacular. I mean, he is a class above everyone else here, and he showed it once again. So yeah, that's the game. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Really a brutal attacking game, very nicely done by Peter. I would like to thank bulletchestthriller.com, Utsav Parak, Gage Wendland, Gary Chomuk, and Rod Hill for a contribution to my channel. Thank you a lot, I really appreciate it. As usual, you can check 2 of my previous videos here. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you soon, continuing the coverage of everything else that's happening in the chess world, and of course, checking up on your wonderful suggestions. So thank you all, I will see you soon, and have an excellent rest of your day, and do use that hashtag suggestion to suggest some games. See you soon.